The Garmin GMA340 is an audio distribution panel popular in many smaller GA aircraft. There are power, volume and squelch controls on either side, a top row of buttons to select what you're listening to, while those on the bottom select who you're talking to. A marker beacon receiver is also built in. Turn on by switching on the battery master and the avionics master. You may also need to use the left-hand small knob, in which case always turn it sufficiently to ensure you can hear it. About half a turn is usually enough. During power-up, all the LEDs will light up briefly, and you can also check them by pressing the test button. Basic operation is as an intercom, allowing everybody to talk to each other. You can't set the transmit volume, only receive, so ensure your headset microphone is close to your mouth but not directly under your nostrils. Volume control is independent for the front left and right seats. Pull the right hand knob for rear passengers. Squelch cuts out the background noise from your microphone and should be set using the large knob, turning it up enough and then back a small amount. There are different thresholds to allow your voice to cut in and out, with a timer of a few seconds allowing gaps between words. The top row of buttons select what you're listening to, and you can toggle any of them on and off independently. Make sure the light is on or off after switching. They can be unresponsive sometimes, especially in damp conditions or where the aircraft has been left outside for long periods. The mic buttons select which radio you're transmitting from and what the push-to-talk buttons on your yoke and stick are connected to. You can normally only select one, so switching on COM2 will switch off COM1 and vice versa. It's important that you're listening on the same radio that you're transmitting from, so the associated receive channel will always be enabled and can't be turned off. Note that if you have both COM1 and COM2 receive enabled, they will remain on when switching from COM1 to COM2. However, that's not the case when switching back. There is a special feature that does allow both radios to be used simultaneously. The split function links COM1 to the left-hand seat and COM2 to the right-hand seat, allowing both front seat pilots to use both radios independently. The intercom between the two seats works as normal, but neither can hear each other's radio. This can be useful when wanting someone else to check the ATIS, talk to a power or ground agent without leaving the current frequency. It's possible to isolate the intercom between the pilot and other seats, creating two independent intercom circuits. The crew button is similar, but isolates the front two seats from the rear passengers. The speaker button additionally sends the audio to the cabin speaker and is typically used to listen to the ATIS prior to engine start. The PA button allows crew to talk through the cabin speaker when their push-to-talk button is keyed, rather than transmitting on the radio. The audio panel also has a simple radio receiver incorporated for marker beacons. These beacons are very basic radio transmitters located on the ground along the instrument approach track, configured in three different modes: outer, middle and inner marker. When passing overhead, the coloured squares will flash and a tone will sound. These are becoming very rare these days, but in the past such markers were also used for longer range navigation, and the sens or sensitivity button can be used to increase receiver sensitivity so they can be detected further away. Frankly, an operation that is almost never used and can be ignored today. You can mute the marker tones to avoid distraction. The unit can be turned off with the avionics master switch before engine shutdown, and this will retain the volume and squelch settings for the next flight.